Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. Yes, it's still our most requested tea of all time. Yes, it is probably the most difficult tea for me to source. And yes, it does cause chaos at our warehouse on release day. But I am very, very happy to announce the release of Jade Star 7, the seventh in our series of aged white teas. For those of you who've been hiding under a rock for the past few years, I'll give you a quick catch up. But also for those of you raising your eyebrows right now going, what about Jade Star 6? What about Jade Star 6? Have I missed something here? You have not missed something. Jade Star 6 is going to come at some point. We don't talk about Jade Star 6 until it has been released. So now we're going to focus on Jade Star 7. Jade Star is our series of aged white teas where we find a blend of Baimudan, which is buds and young leaves, and Shou, which is larger leaves. So two separate pickings that we blend together, and we age, or we try to find teas that have already been aged, of course. Which is now becoming an extremely difficult thing to do. There are many, many aged teas out there. Two problems. The first is if they're any good, they're very expensive. And the second problem is the ones that are a decent price tend to be teas that have genuinely been forgotten. In other words, they've been aged accidentally. In other words, they were not purchased when they were freshly made into white tea because the tea wasn't good enough. And therefore, trying to find aged white teas to make this blend is very, very difficult. Don't forget, I have to find two teas, not just one. I've got to find a Baimudan and a Shou, preferably of the same year, both of super high quality and have been aged. This is from 2016 harvest. So this is 6-year aged tea. So a little bit younger than maybe some of our previous Jade Stars, although I think Jade Star 1, when we released it, was about 5 years old. And it is just going to get better and better and better. So it's a 2016 combo of Baimudan and Shou. You can see Celine's cover here. Let me show this camera here. Of course, the Jade Star ship sailing on an abstract, hopefully quite organic looking background. Celine and I always know what the backgrounds are that inspired it, but we don't reveal that. So you can sort of take a look and see what you think. So Jade Star 7, lovely, lovely artwork. Reminds me a little bit more of the Jade Star 1 artwork, sort of this sort of glistening stars in the background look, and just a beautiful, beautiful cover. I hope that you enjoy it. Celine puts a lot of work in trying to figure out what to do for the Jade Star series. Okay, let's open this tea up and then we can scope it for you. Always an exciting day. Always a bit of a mad day when Jade Star hits the shelves. Wow. Look what I'm looking at right here. Now, you can see this blend right here, right? This is lots and lots of buds, lots and lots of young leaves, but also some large leaves as well. So this is a Baimudan Shou mix. Take a look at the other side. Beautiful, beautiful material. So let's take a look at these leaves a bit closer. So you can see the buds here, all of these lovely buds, and then the larger leaves here that have more of a sort of auburn and sort of pale bronze, gold, mustardy colors around here. So you're getting this lovely mix of the larger leaves, which are lighter, but also can go quite plummy and leathery looking like this, which tend to bring out more of the fruits and more of the confection in a tea. And then you've got lots and lots. I think this is one of our most bud heavy Jade Stars. Lots and lots of buds and young leaves that is going to add more nuttiness, but also improve the texture of the mouthfeel. And all of this will also affect the body sensation as well. The blend will affect the body sensation. So season, this is April 2016. So 6 years old as I'm speaking to you today, more than 6 years old. And as I said, will continue to age. This is from the cultivar, the Dabai cultivar. This is Origin. This is from Fuding. So this is a Fuding, Fujian white tea. The picking and processing, as I said, is a blend of buds, young leaves, and large leaves. So you're getting the whole spectrum of the plant, from the buds all the way down to the larger leaves. And I think that that's what makes Jade Star so special to me and makes it very, very difficult to source. And then finally, the elevation's around 900 meters. All right, let's get this kettle going. And we'll break into this tea. I can already tell that this is a very loosely compressed tea. You can see it will break up very, very easily. So I'm gonna eyeball it, but I always like to test myself. I'm gonna go for around 5 grams, something like that. So we'll put this down here. I'm going to put it to the side. I've got another cake here for us to admire the artwork. Let's see how I did. I'm not feeling very confident, I have to say. Ooh, I need to get this charged. Oh, 4.9 if I just add in that little bit. Okay, 5.6, but you know, I wasn't planning on the stragglers. So yes, still refining the accuracy of my estimates. I also, with these kinds of teas, like to break up some of the larger leaves a little bit because they are going to take a little bit longer to extract, and I like to have more of an even brew. If you manage to pick off a chunk of the tea and it's sort of in chunk form, make sure you open it up. It will open up very, very easily, as you can see here. Extremely loose. And just break up some of the larger leaves. I think that that really helps to get a more sort of even extraction of this blend. I wanted to do this one indoors, this video, because it's Jade Star and I felt like we needed to step out of the studio and have a bit of a different environment. Excuse the mess behind me. I'm guessing it's quite messy. And I can see I've got chipped guy 1 here. You know, the day-to-day tastings are always gonna have their casualties. It's just the way it is. Especially when you've got a toddler climbing your tea shelves. Had a bit of a horror moment where I saw her climbing this tea shelf, and as you can see, there's lots of tea pots here. Oh my gosh. When I saw that, I nearly lost it. All right, let's, where are my leaves? Right, let's get these leaves in. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Jade Star 6, 7. Caught myself. Jade Star 7. I have given this, like when it arrived in the warehouse about 4 days ago, I literally put a tiny amount into 70ml Guy 1 just to give it a quick taste for approval, but I really didn't want to focus on tasting notes until right now. So let's dive in. Extremely rich aromatics, and bear in mind that this has been in our warehouse for now about 5 days. I expect it to even open up more, but as it stands now, this is such a strong smell, an incredibly strong smell. So strong that it's very difficult to pick out flavors. You just want to say yummy, just so yummy. All right, let's see. I'm getting boiled cherry boiled candies, cherry hard candies. Not in the cough sweets territory, but just cherry hard candies. I'm getting apricot cooked down, or no, not even. I'm getting apricot juice. You know, there's the apricot, like it's thick and what's it called? Nectar, or anyway, apricot juice. So it's got a lot of texture and is very rich in apricots. A little bit of orange juice as well. So apricot and orange juice, but more heavily on the apricot. Oh Oh, wow. I'm picking up flowers, quite clean smelling flowers, like lotus flower. Also in that clean territory, I'm picking up a distinct watermelon note. I think it is watermelon. But you know how if you have like a watermelon flavor, it's a very concentrated, slightly sweeter version of it. So it sort of moves into the floral. Imagine lotus and watermelon combined. Take a look at these leaves a bit more here. Beautiful leaves here. There's a slight acidity to it beyond the orange. Oh, it's such a beautiful smell. I'm going to say rosehip. So rosehip and the orange provide some acidity. Apricots and cherry candies provide the sweetness and the fruitiness. Lotus and watermelon provides sort of a floral, clean, like bright, refreshing, flowery note. And I'm also picking up a nuttiness. And I'm going to say Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts is what I'm going to go. So it's a little bit more understated. I mean, it's light, the Brazil nut note, I'll say. Quickly. Okay. Make sure that doesn't get wet. Okay, I'm going to give you some tea properly. There you go. You can get a leaf, but I'm taking that back. Okay, I can already pick up an incredible aroma from this guy one. Just intense smell. Okay, here we go. Wow. Intense, sweet, fruity. But now I'm also picking up some woodsy notes as well. Or is it? It is a bit woodsy, like I'm getting the sort of autumnal, aged, like leafy kind of smell, but it's more moving towards leather. So there is a real aged smell to this, which is great. For 6 years old, it's still relatively, it's in that sort of, nice age, but it's gonna definitely change as it ages in your home. So leather, like leather-bound books. Oh, tons and tons of strawberries, but not fresh, like dried and compressed down, like those leathers, like fruit leathers, like strawberry fruit leather. Oh, so much of that. Oh, that's the predominance. Really, really concentrated strawberry smell, strawberry fruit leather. The cherry candy's still there. I'm also picking up other fruits like it's again like sweet orange, but maybe it's moving more into like kumquat, so it's a little bit more tropical. The lotus is still there. The nuts have moved from the Brazil nuts to hazelnuts, but not toasted, just raw hazelnuts, so sort of milky and pale. And I'm also picking up a little bit of custard as well in there. Oh, it's such a beautiful smell. It really, really is. It's got this combination of very, very intense fruitiness combined with those aged leathers and woods. I would say it's difficult. It's not that resinous. It's more like a little bit like antique woods. Antique woods leather. I'm also picking up white peach, which is, again, white peach, lotus, sort of bright, fresh, and quite flowery, if you know what I mean. All right, we're gonna heat this water up to 99 degrees. I'm very, very excited, very, very excited to really get stuck in and understand this tea. And I hope that if you pick it up, that you enjoy it. Everyone has their own favorites of the Jade Star series. Some people say, oh, I love Jade Star 4, Jade Star 5, Jade Star 1. People always sort of tell me their favorites, and it's interesting that they tends to vary. But so they're always going to be different. But I think that if you are looking for a really flavor-forward Jade Star with lots and lots of fruits and lots of complexity, then this Jade Star 7 is definitely going to be up your alley, at least from the smell. I don't want to get this wet, this cover, but I'm going to show you one more time here while that brews. Now, brewing with these kinds of teas is really, really simple. It's almost impossible to overbrew it, really. I always put on the instructions, I think 20 or 25 seconds, but really, as you can see, I tend to brew a bit more than that. Part of the reason for that is because I realize that I'm not going to drink every single infusion on camera, and so I want to sort of get an idea of it a bit faster. So if you want to take time with your session, then go shorter brewing, follow the brewing instructions, in other words. But I will tend to brew a bit longer in this session. The color is a lovely, slightly peachy gold color right now, but it is going to darken as it brews. Okay, let's focus on texture first. Cheers, everybody. Jade Star 7. Thick. Taste is bomb. Thick, slight quench, moving sort of thick and quite physical, at least at the first sip. Very, very thick. Don't be frightened to, load up your vessel and break up those leaves a little bit. All right, taste. A little bit of spice coming through. I'm picking up like custard, but custard that's been spiced with something. Is it bay? Possibly, but it's darker. It's like almost like okay. It's like custard that has been poured over a sort of a brown, like a slightly sort of treacly brown bread. So it's got like sort of like buttered brown bread and custard. You know what that means. It means probably the closest is brown bread ice cream. One of my favorites and a very common flavor note. So, brown bread ice cream, maybe flavored with a little bit of bay leaf, but then loads and loads of fruits. I'm getting those strawberries. I'm getting those compressed like fruit leathers. I'm getting like quince. I am getting flowers like it's moved a bit more flowery, like freesia. You know what also I'm getting? I'll confirm it after I brew again, but I think I'm picking up some very overripe banana note. And so when I was talking about that sort of brown bread, it's more like a banana bread, an overripe banana bread with custard. That might be a better one. So cancel out that brown bread ice cream. Banana bread, overripe banana bread with custard. Good luck trying to find a picture of that. Right. Oh, and it's creating a lot of juiciness in my mouth. A lot of juiciness. And that juiciness is a combination of a little bit rocky at the beginning. So there is minerality. There's definitely some sort of wet rocks in here. But then this sort of, I want to say some sort of date, like maybe like a medjool date. Maybe that's a bit too sweet, but like imagine you've eaten some dates and, 10 minutes later, you've still got a little bit of the residual datey sweetness in the mouth. That tingly sensation in my mouth is also reminiscent sort of sherbets. So it's got a sherbety sort of quality to the texture, to the tingle, but also in that bright, quite light, flowery taste, I'm picking up some of that fizz of sherbet. So what's interesting, at least from this sort of first couple of infusions, is it seems to be a very, very complex tea that has a lot of breadth. And again, I keep on talking about it, but it's worth repeating. The concept behind Jade Star is to try to represent the full plant, buds, young leaves, large leaves, aged. Most of the time, in fact, I don't think there's any other white tea that I've seen that does that. It's either Baimudan aged, Shou aged, sometimes Silver Needle aged, although they tend to be very, very expensive, or Gongmei aged. But this blend of the Mudan and the Shou, I think, it creates a very wide spectrum of flavors from the nutty. So I'm still picking up that sort of raw hazelnut note. I'm picking up the rockiness. I'm picking up the moving into sort of creamy custardy notes. That would be much more about those buds. And then as we move in, we start to move further down the spectrum. We're getting some fruits, some light fruits, the white peaches, the watermelons, the lotus, etc. And then as we get larger, we're going to start hitting those cherry boiled candies, start hitting more of those sort of fermented notes like the overripe bananas. Those kinds of notes will pop out. And that's what really is the key here. I'm starting to feel some heat. We'll see how the body sensation is. But in terms of flavor and taste and texture, winner, really like up there with the best of the Jade Stars, in my opinion. Oh, super drinkable. See if I pick up any other notes. Yeah, the sherbet is, I would say, definitely there. It sort of is like when you talk about wet rocks and minerality, it can sort of have that powdery quality to it as well that moves it into that sort of sherbet territory. The flowers are also more prominent in my nose as I breathe out. Again, I'm not an expert on flowers, but it has a sort of bassy but very sweet quality. So I think that tuberose and freesia are going to be a more accurate descriptor of the taste, the floral taste, compared to the lotus that was in the smell of the leaves. For those of you wondering why I have a waste bowl here, it's not because the draining here doesn't work. It works perfectly well. It's just I do tend to drink a lot of tea and then I put the leaves in here. So I also throw some rinse in there out of habit. And also, if it's the little bit at the end of the cup where there's a little bit of, broken leaf, pouring it down here means that the filter's going to require me sort of cleaning it a little bit more regularly. I don't know why I gave you the full diatribe on why I pour rinse into a bowl, but there you go. Ooh, heating, definitely getting a heating sense as well. So getting a quench in my mouth, moving to that, as I say, overripe banana and medjool date, sweetness. Oh, I'm going to come back to that one. That one's difficult because I want to brew up. But it is already 2 infusions down. That is got bags and bags of aromatics in it. Quickly. I'm getting the overripe banana. I'm also getting a pear quality, like cooked pears. again, I'm getting this bready, like bake bready quality. So I'm going to say like a pear tart. And I'm getting a little bit of wood and tons of cherry. Let's say cherry woods and those cherry sweets affecting my stomach. Good sign. For those of you who know, that means it has some potency to it. I mean, it's obviously going to have potency to it. It's a 2016 Dabai Fuding white tea that was the winner out of, I should really count how many Jade Star contenders we taste. I reckon that we taste probably, it's not going to be a huge amount because there aren't that many aged whites around, but I reckon we probably taste about 20 to 30 per year, something like that, in terms of aged whites in general, maybe more, maybe about 40. So it's not a huge amount because they're harder to find, but like the majority of them really like have great smell, but don't have the texture, the taste, and the aftertaste. Color is darkening. It's becoming more syrupy in color. It's still relatively light, but it's becoming more syrupy. Of course, it's worth saying, if you are not aware, with white teas, you can brew into them as much as you want and then simmer them at the end. So take those leaves, put them in some water and then simmer it for about 10, 15 minutes. And you're going to get one final banger of a brew. Those nutty notes are sprinkling in. I'm sprinkling some of those raw hazelnuts on top of that pear tart. Oh, a little bit of an alcoholic quality coming through. As I said, it's going to age more, so you're going to get more of that ferment, but I'm picking up again a pear quality, so like a pear liquor, like is an eau de vie, Poire Williams, like a Williams pear liquor, like schnapsy sort of quality to it. Light, but there, and that will grow with age. Just delicious. Right, I'm gonna go through maybe another 3 or 4 infusions and I'll come back to you with body sensation. This here is the 7th infusion. I'm already feeling it, so I figure I will give you my initial reports. Maybe I'll see if I can follow up on the website and you can read the body sensation there. So first off the bat, lots and lots of beautiful, comforting, warming energy. It feels warm, it feels cozy. Definitely more of a creeper than maybe previous Jade Stars where it suddenly hits. Well, I don't know, it might suddenly hit after this infusion, but it's a creeper, it's warm, it's comfortable. It makes me feel happier. It's definitely got a brightening of mood, but in a sort of very cozy, hygge sort of way at the moment. That's how I'm feeling right now. As I say, it's very difficult to just sort of give you the body sensation off the bat. I like to let it sit and let it settle a little bit. But definitely perspiration and a feel-good feeling. Taste has just stayed rock solid. Exactly the same. No drop off in taste. This will give you lots and lots of infusions. As I said, this is 7, I reckon 12 as a sort of like minimum, and then boil it up, simmer it up. Definitely a little bit extra energy to it. That's going to be mostly, my guess, from the buds. You can see here the look of the material. Let's just mix it up a bit so you can see it properly. Very bud heavy. And those young leaves as well. That's going to contribute some extra oomph in terms of the energies, give you a little bit more stimulation. Definitely feeling the stimulation. It's actually rising now a little bit more than I was expecting, but still warming, comforting. A great tea as we move into the winter months, if you're watching this at the time of release. But honestly, like, aside from the body sensation, the taste of this tea is just spectacular. It is a delicious, delicious brew, as I hope you can see from all the pictures that are surrounding my head right now. Lots of fruits, lots of flowers, lots of minerals, a little bit of nuts and custards and creams. It's just the full spectrum of what we would love from a white. And as it ages, that's going to concentrate and change. I would highly advise you to store this in a relatively airtight space. Drop in a humidity control pack if you can. Around 60% would be ideal, just to keep the humidity going. If you're living in a dry area, that will ramp up the, or at least sort of maintain the ferment oxidation magic that happens during aging. Apologies, definitely affecting my stomach, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of the tingly sweats. Yeah, it's an aged white. It's definitely going to give you some oomph. Delicious. Special tea. Super happy. Jade Star 7. We don't talk about Jade Star 6. Jade Star 7 is now out, so you can go check it out online. I'll put all the details below so that you can pick up a cake or a tong or a few tongs if you're feeling extravagant and wants to see how this tea ages over the years. There you go, Jade Star 7. We don't talk about Jade Star 6. Jade Star 7 is out. I'm not sure if there's going to be another Jade Star. If we can source it, we obviously will keep trying. But as I said, it's becoming just harder and harder and harder to do. But we've got this one, Jade Star 7. Go check it out. That's it, tea heads. Check out other videos, taste our teas wherever you are in the world by browsing mayleaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the supreme stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.